Hello ladies and gentlemen, MarauderEX here back with more Let's Play Valkyria Chronicles. Alright, so we are at the, we're in Randgrease, basically. This is our home, this is where we are going to be spending a lot of time. So there's not really anything we can do in the squad barracks, but we do have the command room, where we can put together Squad 7. So, let's look and see who we can piece together to form our squad.
It's good to see you doing the rounds. Welcome.
Also, her voice actress, I'm pretty sure she's the one who was Aki Kisaragi in Tekken Blade 2. So, she's, like, I see that was also very military-esque. Just, so that voice coming out of her, I'm just expecting her to turn into a Tekken Man at any moment and just completely wipe the floor with, like, it's messing with my head.
This is the command room. Use it to structure your squad. You will have access to both drafted and volunteer recruits. Now that I think of it, Squad 7 is still short on soldiers, isn't it? I'll explain how this works. This is the master list. The recruits have all been assigned classes based on their talents. I should probably touch on the 5 classes, just so we're clear.
Alright, so we're going to get to learn about the different classes, now that everyone will actually have a class.
First off, you have the scouts. Just like the name suggests, they'll be your eyes. Their best asset is their mobility. They can go out, collect intel, then make it back safely. That, and a keen eye for enemies. A good scout can spot a man in tall grass from 100 yards. That comes at the price of firepower. Their job is spotting enemies, not taking them out. Next up, the shock trooper. They're the ones to break through enemy lines and clean up. They offer excellent offense and defense. As far as combat goes, they're as good as it gets. While they lack any specialized techniques, they also don't have any obvious shortcomings. Think of them as the least finicky unit in your squad, Lieutenant. After them, we have Lancers, then anti-tank units. They're critical when facing armored targets.
I don't know why, but they say after them we have Lancers, then anti-tank units. At least that's how it sounds in the voice acting. But obviously it's the anti-tank units. So, Lancers are the anti-tank units. Just stick with the text.
Their purpose is pretty self-explanatory. In most cases, they're the only way to stop a tank. They're also well shielded from explosives, which conveniently includes tank mortars. Sadly, they're slow and weak to gunfire. Their limited ammo could also be called a drawback. Changing gears, we have the engineers. They handle supplies and perform combat support. They can restock other units' ammunitions, treat the wounded, even repair tanks on site. They can place sandbags for cover, disarm mines, repair towers, you name it. Their actual combat skills are very low. Think of them as combat facilitators. Lastly, we have the snipers. They can shoot down targets from a considerable distance. You won't find better soldiers for marksmanship and range. They can hit targets I can barely see. Sniping rifles also come with scopes that work to augment a sniper's natural eyesight. Drawbacks include low mobility and defense. If the enemy gets them alone, they're done for. That should cover the basics.
There's also one other unit that you don't get to really control, field medics. So if we happen to have someone reach 0 HP, they're not dead, they're just incapacitated. If we can get another unit over to them like we have been with the enemy units, there'll be a scene where we call for a medic, and the medic will rush in and evac them out. That allows you to keep your unit alive. There is permadeath in this game, so your units can die, which is not a good thing. In fact, in order to get some specific units, you have to have others die, so that's a lot of stuff that will be covered as the game progresses. But medics are the 5th unit, but because you can't control them, they're not listed. Or not 5th unit, but they're the next unit, so. But we have no control over them.
Go ahead and put a squad together now. There's room for 20, and you can swap units at any time.
Alright, so our squad starts off very random, so I don't know who we're going to have access to. There's a couple of people that I'm hoping that are not here, so it doesn't really matter because I'm just going to use another save file that I have because I don't want to deal with some of this. Alright, so we've got people. There are a couple of people that are really entertaining that I was hoping to get. We got one of them. Aika.
Hey there, I'm Ika Thompson. I'll try my best. Sound good, Welkin?
Alright, if you don't know who Aika is, go watch my Skies of Arcadia Let's Play. That's Aika. The game, or the development team who did Valkyria Chronicles is mostly made up of the Overworks team that did Skies of Arcadia. Overworks was absorbed into other sections of Sega at the time, so this was their way of kind of having a nod to Skies of Arcadia. Vice, Aika, and Fina are all in here. Vice and Aika are the only two who actually get to join the squad. Aika is a scout, Vice is a shock trooper, and Fina is a field medic. So hopefully we won't be seeing Fina, but yeah. So we're just going to put this together. You can see each character has a list of Ps. Those are potentials. Potentials are buffs or debuffs that can kick in combat that affect you in some way, shape, or form. So, desert allergy. An allergy to dust and sands that leads to a steady drain of HP while in a sandy area. So if you have Melville in a desert area, he's just going to slowly die. It is a huge pain. However, Trooper Killer. Confidence that they can best any shock trooper grants a boost in attack capability, so he does extra damage against shock troopers. Chatty Cathy. Whenever a close friend is nearby, they can't help but chit-chat, a distraction that lowers their accuracy. So not everyone is good, but not everyone is bad. So the goal is to find units that have more positives than negatives, or have negatives that aren't as terrible. Like the allergies, those can be bad. Meadowbread, standing grassy field help them relax, increasing defense. Cozy places like trenches are calming, giving them a boost in attack. Being around close friends makes even the battlefield a little cheerier, boosting their attack power. And you can see underneath the potentials they have likes. So Ted, Motley, and Emil would cause that bonus to kick in. That potential would kick in if you were near either of those three. So there's a lot to take into account. And yeah, we have on this side, we start off with Alicia, Rosie, and Largo. Rosie and Largo are like Alicia in the fact that they are leader units, meaning that they will have the CP emblem next to their face in combat, which will allow them to give us extra CP if they are in our party. So having Rosie, Largo, and Alicia will get a ton of extra CP, so it helps out. They also have their own potentials, but they cannot be removed. As you can see, there's an X over the arrow. They can't be taken out. They're also story characters, so they are three who are unaffected by permadeath. So, we've got Rosie, whose real name is Brigitte, so she likes Largo and Cherry. Largo likes Rosie, Hanners, and Jan. Alicia likes Welkin, Noyce, and Dallas. So we've got... You can kind of put your team together based off that, but because it's random, you may not get these people. Like, I don't think we have Yoko. No, we do have Yoko. So, that helps. We've got, some decent... You start off with 2 snipers, some decent number of engineers. Just have to make sure they don't have, really crappy... potentials like Neat Freak. Worries about dirt stains, leading a decrease in accuracy. Loneliness soon sets in when no allies are nearby, leading to decreased evasion. So they can have decreased accuracy, decreased evasion. Having less than full AP makes them feel totally exhausted, leading to increased defense. So Homer is just useless, like, to start with. That's painful. Herbert, Desert Bread, and Fatalist. Fatalist is another really bad one. HP reaches single digit. They dive headlong into despair, causing lowered firing accuracy. So, yeah. I'm just gonna put people in. Doesn't matter, because I'm not gonna keep this group. I have another group.
Hello, I'm Catherine O'Hara. I look forward to joining you all.
I like Catherine. I don't know about this guy.
My name is Cesare Regard, and I'll handle things my own way, thank you.
Alright, and each one will say something as they come into...
Hello, sir. My name is Nadine. I'm sure I'll be coming to you for help.
So, normally when putting a team together, I like to have...
Herbert Nielsen is me. I mean, I'll try.
We're just gonna skip the rest of this. Give me 1 second, and like I said, I'll just put a group together because I'm not going to be using this group, and we'll go to the next area. So, okay, so we've got our squad together.
More recruits to choose from, so keep an eye on that list.
And the list of people will show up randomly, so this is why I want to switch to my other...
And all the recruits go through training together, so they're all ready for combat.
So yeah, we'll be dealing with combat like that.
The rest of the team you've taken into the field.
That's one thing that's also taught to us at the training area, that classes as a whole are leveled up, not individual units. So if you switch one scout out for another, they'll still be the same level, so that you don't have to worry about, oh, I put this scout in and I've used them forever, they're leveled up, I don't want to switch them out. But it's class level up, not individual unit.
You can swap out members without the worry of losing the benefit of their experience. Trust in your own judgment and pick a team you know you can work well with. That should be enough to get you started. You can figure out the rest as you go.
Wow. Squad leader's a lot of responsibility. Come to think of it, Valdio's heading up Squad 1, isn't he? I wonder if he's off sorting through this stuff now, too. I'd better get a move on.
Alright, so that's the command room. Next we're going to go to the training facility and learn how to level up, which is where we use our experience, like currency. It's actually kind of interesting. So...
Welcome to your worst nightmare. I'm the guy who's gonna whip you lazy blobs into shape. Still, I can't work miracles here. No amount of drilling beats real combat experience. I want you all to go out there, kick some imp tail, and then show me what you learned. I will train that experience into something you can actually use. Level you bums up. But don't go trying to hog all the glory. A squad's a team, and we got no need for stars. You will train as a class, and level up by class. Scout level 2, Scout level 3. You get it? When the scouts level up, that means each and every one of them goes up that level. You hear me, maggots? Any of you think he's better than the rest of the team, go home now! All right. Now I'll show you lowlives how this whole thing actually works. It ain't complicated. First you go out there and fight, then divvy up that experience here. Once the experience you cram into a soldier class clears a set amount, it'll level up. Picking which class to level up and when is your job as the squad leader. Now give it a go.
Alright, so we're given a blackboard here.
Read all you want. I've got all day.
And we apply the experience. So it shows to next level it would take 228 XP to get Scout to level 1. Why is it not? There we go. It did not want to do that. Shock Trooper from level 1 to level 2, 288. So we actually have enough experience to get everyone to level 2. So we're going to do that.
Bite the bullet! No pain, no gain!
And the flavor text is just hilarious. So everyone levels up to 2.
Good work, maggots! You're one level closer to human. Looks like that session beat a new potential out of the Lancers.
And because the Lancers leveled up to 2, all the Lancers will get a new potential. So,
Looks like that session beat a new potential out of the snipers.
same with the Snipers. Alright, so we have enough that we can level up other classes as well, but like I said, I'm not going to worry about that because we're going to deal with that
Got it?
later.
That's how training by class works. Now get out there and rack up some experience. Oh, and there's one more thing to add. Sometimes leveling up a unit class will unlock a hidden potential in them. You can think of potentials as the natural abilities your soldiers have inside them. Those abilities will form a big part of your strength in the field, so keep them in mind. Other times, leveling up a class will earn you clearance for a new order. Here, as long as we're talking about it, I'll teach you a classic, a real golden oldie.
Alright, so this is our first order. We can use orders in combat at the expense of 1 CP. Some of them affect everyone, some of them affect specific units, and they affect units in different ways. So we have Evade Boost, raises one ally's evasion skills.
Orders are special commands you can give out as the squad leader. They can save your tail. It doesn't take a genius to see that leveling up your soldiers is the best way to beef up your squad. The soldiers will get stronger, and you just might unlock new potentials and orders. All that just from me working you sorry bums into the dirt. I just hope you maggots are ready for a real workout the next time I see you here.
So yeah, like I said, I already have another save file that I want to use that has a squad that I want. Because again, it's all kind of random, and they're also all leveled up. So I'm gonna, like I said, stick with that. But instead, we're gonna come here to the R&D facility.
Welcome to R&D, man. What can I do you for?
Which is where we can upgrade equipment.
Wait, I know that insignia. You're Lieutenant Gunther, aren't you? I knew it! Man, I've heard about you. That evacuation at Brule was just... wow!
So we have fanboys.
Protecting a tiny life in the middle of all that slaughter? Man! Oh, Lieutenant, you're good people. You get all my respect and then some, bro.
What's going on, Leon? I can hear you from clear across the hangar.
Oh, Casey, check it out! It's Lieutenant Gunther! He's the man!
Sorry about him, Lieutenant. He's like this all the time, I'm afraid. But where are my manners? I'm Kreese Cherney. I'm training here as a mechanic.
Oh, and I'm Leon Schmidt, but just call me Leon, bro. I'm your boy.
So, Lieutenant Gunther, what brings you down to R&D today? We do work here on weapons development, making upgraded weapons and equipment.
And that includes rifles and machine guns. We can even soup up your tank. Of course, research expenses aren't cheap.
With rifles and other firearms, we'll mass-produce new models as they're developed. You won't have to worry about making enough for your squad. We'll outfit them.
For tanks, you can upgrade the baseline performance of the body itself, or develop optional parts that you can add on to tweak out its specs.
Right. You can choose which optional parts you want in the tank equipment section. Come in any time and make adjustments based on the needs of the operation at hand.
Alright, so we learn about outfitting tanks and equipment, so I'm just going to go through this. I can go through it faster than what they can. So we can develop weapons, and these are all the things that we can do, and it'll show you what it does and how much it costs. So we have the regular Galleon 1 rifle, which is what everyone currently has equipped for the Scouts. Aim of C rank, range 350, versus person 17, versus armor 40, shots 5. Accuracy boost increases the damage versus person considerably. And it's 500. So, you know, upgrade that. And as they said, all guns of that class, so all Scout weapons are now upgraded with that. So we've got Scout weapons, we've got Shock Trooper weapons, we've got Lancer weapons, Sniper weapons, hand grenades. We also have uniforms. So we have uniforms for, I believe these are Scout and Shock Troopers, and then blast suits are for Lancers. I don't think... Yeah, because there's not a third for shock troopers, or it could be that these are for snipers and scouts, and these are for shock troopers and lancers. It's kind of hard to say. I don't know. I'll have to look into that and see what it is. But then we also have equipment for the Edelweiss. You have body enhancements, tread and other, and attack support. So you can increase the damage, accuracy, things like that. Body enhancements gives us higher range. We can reinforce the armor for more defense, or we can increase our tread HP, or our radiator. The radiator HP protects against crit defense. These here have what's known as a block size. It's 1 by 1. In order to actually use all of your tank upgrades, we have a grid here that you can see is a 3 by 4 grid that lets us place upgrades. If you don't have enough space, you have to pick and choose what upgrades you actually want to use that will fit amongst that 3 by 4 grid. So again, I'm not going to go into that too much.
Well, was that helpful?
Yes, it
We're
was.
working here around the clock to make possible tomorrow what's out of reach today.
You sound like Tony Stark.
Come again a little later. We'll do our best to have something useful for you by then.
Yeah, you better come back soon, bro. I am all fired up to work on stuff for you.
So, and certain upgrades are only available at certain times. So, now we can return to the book mode because we have that. So, I'm actually going to go ahead and end this episode here, as we are about done. We have a new episode. The Headquarters tab is available. And we've learned about Headquarters, which is where we just did everything that we just did. So, not anything worth worrying about. So, I will see you guys in the next installment. Until then, later everyone.